Okay, so you direct a whole organisation which is devoted towards encouraging people to give. I feel like most people would recognise that it's important to give in society, but for some reason or another they don't really commit much time to it. Is that fair?
I think there's always more people can do, but definitely there is an issue that we're facing in society that I think it used to be that if I had talents, I've got skills and money, whatever it is, if I've got it, it means it's there to be able to share. And I do feel that we're now changing, and it's more the, dare I say, the I culture. It's why should I share? You give me a reason. What do you mean? If I've got, why should I start sharing with other people? And that's what we need to train. We need to get people to realise, no, it's you're here to give. You're in this world to give. This world is created that you can start giving to other people.
Okay, and why is that the case? And why should we want to give? Should we want to give because it'll make us feel better, or because it's the right thing to do? And I guess that touches on another point which I know you like to talk about, which is like, can you give purely because it's for the benefit of the other person, or is there always like a selfish element where you're doing it because it's going to make you feel good or you're going to get something out of it?
That's a long question.
Is it?
How long do we have? So let's start with this. Should you give because you enjoy it? I think first of all, people need to be cognitive that it's enjoyable to be able to give. A lot of people, they focus on the pain. What do you mean? I give, but I don't have my toys. I don't have, whatever it was that I wanted. Now I'm giving it up. It's my time. You're taking it away. So stage number one is people actually should recognize there is a real, true enjoyment and a satisfaction, far more meaningful to be able to actually give to other people. So that's stage one. I believe there is an enjoyment there. People just don't focus on it. But then you get to the second question. Should that be my motivation? Should it actually be? In fact, you can even ask, I think you were asking, is it possible to give without being motivated on self? Otherwise, altruism.
Yeah.
So I do believe there is such thing as altruism. And I believe it is possible that you want to give because you want to give. But let's first of all let's define what we mean by altruism. Altruism is defined by my motivation. My motivation is selfless. I'm not doing it for myself. Now,
is that possible?
Is that possible? So I'll argue, I love philosophy. Yes, I believe it's very much possible. And it goes as follows.
Do you believe or do you know?
I'll say no.
Okay, go on.
Well, I'll say the Torah says that. In fact, the Hebrew word, which people say kindness, chesed.
Yeah.
Chesed, according to Rav Desta, actually, the best translation of chesed is not kindness, but rather actually altruism.
Okay.
And it goes as follows. And I want to break this down. If you were to ask me, is it possible to do any act or any choice where you will not receive any enjoyment? I'll say it's impossible.
Okay.
I'll say any act that you ever do, you will always receive some benefit. If I choose to lift my hand up in the air, the fact that I got what I wanted, I want the hand up in the air, my hand's up in the air.
What about when you commit suicide?
There is something to that. There is something. If you choose to do something, if you're making a choice, then there has to be some motivation. There must be something, the very bare minimum, that you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
So there's enjoyment there. So do I believe it's possible to have any choice which has zero result of enjoyment benefit? No.
So how can there be altruism?
Because altruism is defined by what's your motivation. And it could very well be that you have an act.
You just said all the motivation will always be...
Not motivation, a result. There will always be a resultant pleasure in any choice that you ever make. It doesn't necessarily mean that your motivation is that.
Okay.
So let me give you an example. Imagine that, imagine you decide you want to help a third world country. And I don't know, there's been a tsunami or something and the schools have been destroyed and everything, and you decide, I want to be able to go out there and I want to be able to start building the schools. Okay? You come back, you're speaking to your friends in the bar, and he says, wow, that's quite a tan you got there. Yeah, I know, I was in the baking hot sun for hours and then, what? And I see your physique is not bad, isn't it? Are you happy you got strong muscles? Yeah. Are you happy you got a tan? Yeah. Well, therefore, it must be proof, because you're happy about that, you must have been helping them for the sake of the tan and for the sake of the muscles. Is that a proof?
No.
It's not a proof.
No.
But I'm happy about it. What I'm trying to show from there, it could be you have resultant pleasure from doing an act, a choice. It doesn't flow necessarily. It could be, but it doesn't necessarily flow. That must be your motivation. Now, if I'm doing an act of kindness, it could very well be that I'm doing it because I'm motivated, what's in it for me, which by the way I think is also still good, the person's doing it. But the higher level is that I'm giving because I want to be able to give. Will I receive benefit from that? Will I enjoy it? I will enjoy it. Does it flow that it has to be my motivation? I'll say there's no proof in that it must be my motivation.
Right. Okay, so, but what do you think should be the motivation for why people should want to give? Is it okay, is it healthy for people and rabbis and, you know, educators to say, give because it feels good? Or should it be actually because, I mean, what should be the motivation?
I think that there's a very lofty, high up there in the ideal, which is that you're doing it for purely selfless reasons. But I think lower than that, I think no, that people should actually enjoy giving, and it should be taught that you really get enjoyment out of giving. In fact, I don't believe anyone can ever get to this level of selflessness all the way. To be able to get to that, first of all, you have to experience and enjoy what it's like to be able to give. And from there, then it starts coming to the next level of, you know what, I want to give because I want to give. It's like a stepping stone. I feel actually that a lot of times when people say, I'm not being altruistic and I'm really doing it just for myself, I actually feel there's more altruism there than they realise. It's non-altruism altruism.
Why? How explain that?
The non-altruistic altruism goes as follows. I want to do what's right. I'd say there's someone over here, he needs help. You know what, I want to help them, but I'm just too busy because I'm filming at the moment. And I got my life, I can't help them.
Right.
So it's a choice of altruism, help him, versus my life, altruism, my life, altruism, my life wins. So what do? I actually want to be able to help him, but I'm not motivated enough. So I can use non-altruism as a motivator to help me do what I ultimately want to do. So it goes like this. I want to help him, but it doesn't speak long enough because it doesn't speak strong enough. I want to get on with my life. You know what? Let me focus on how much pain he must be in. Now focus and imagine, I see these two people just walking along, just being left over there. Imagine how great I'll feel if I was able to help him out. Imagine how sad he feels not having anyone help him out. Now, as soon as I'm thinking that, when I help them out, is that altruism or not? When I'm thinking about his pain and my pain, is that altruism?
I suppose so.
I'll say not.
Why?
The moment I'm focusing on my pain, that's not altruism. I'm doing it because I don't want to be in pain. I'm feeling about how great I'll feel.
You're thinking about his pain.
By his pain, I take on his pain. And when I take on his pain, that's no longer altruism.
I see. Okay.
So when I take on his pain, there's no altruism there. But here's the question. Why did I choose to feel his pain? I could have just walked straight along, not feel his pain, go along with my day with no issue. But again,
has it made you feel?
But again, no. I choose. Here's where it starts to. I choose to be bothered. I could have gone throughout the whole day not being bothered by it whatsoever, not think about it. Instead, I choose to focus on his pain. Now I focus on his pain. Now I'm in pain. Now it's no longer altruism. But why originally do I allow those thoughts of me taking in his pain? Because I want to do the right thing. So it goes as follows. Again, I can either just walk straight through, say, care about him, it's just not working. Or I can say, you know what, I want to do the right thing, but yet I need something in myself. At the moment, I'm not motivated enough. So now I'm going to take on his pain, or think about how amazing I feel. I do that, I now help the person, so I have the non-altruism there, but the reason why I choose to focus on the non-altruism is for the sake of an altruistic motive. I want to do the right thing. And I feel that happens very often. I feel plenty of times where, you know what, I want to help out my friend, but hey, it takes up my time. So again, why do I want to help out my friend? Because it's the right thing to do. It doesn't work, so then I focus on, well, 1 minute, I want him to be there for me. 1 minute, think about how great it would feel. 1 minute, think about, if I was in that situation, think about how happy it would be. Once I do that, it's there to help me with my altruistic motivation. So I'm using non-altruism to help me with my altruism.
Okay. I think I'm holding in that. Why is it important to give? What's the purpose of this organisation that you run? Why did you feel the need to set it up? Why is giving
It's the fundamentals of life. It's the question is, why are you living? What's the goal in this world? You can either view, you know what it says that, it says in the Gemara, Bishvili nivra olam, the world's created for me. Chayev adam lomar, a person's obligated to say the world was created for me.
Sounds quite selfish.
It sounds incredibly selfish, but it depends on how you're viewing this world. If you view this world as your oyster and an opportunity to be able to take them totally is selfish. It means everything's about it, it's just for me. But that's not what it's about. That the world is here to be able to give. You're on this planet, you're here to be able to become a giving person. You know, when you have a baby is the most selfish human being you're ever going to meet. It's feed me, play with me, change my nappy, now, or I'll blast your ears out. Wah! But it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Wah! Come on, wah! Give me now. That's what babies are so selfish. We're born, we're selfish, we're takers. The goal in life is to turn 180 degrees from being basically about me, to about you. How can I make your life amazing? Yeah.
So how does this manifest in sort of Jewish sources, this idea of altruism for the sake of it or for your own benefits?
The principle is, through non-altruism, one can achieve altruism. Well, I've just asked a question, so that's not true. I can see plenty of people doing kindness, but it's not really affecting them at all. It's just external actions. I can see plenty of people doing things that looks good, but doesn't come good. I do the action, doesn't affect me. So how is it? What is it that sometimes the non-altruism affects the altruism and sometimes not? So this is what we're saying beforehand. Only an altruistic non-altruism will lead to an altruism. If I'm non-altruistic, but the reason why I'm non-altruistic is because it's really motivated by altruism. If I'm focusing on what's in it for me, but only be able to help me because deep down I want to be able to give, ultimately that will lead to pure altruism where you don't need to have any self at all.
Got it.
To stay up to date with the latest JCV content, if you're on YouTube, click subscribe below the video and the alarm bell. And if you're on Facebook, click the like button, and under following, click see first.